Alright. Hey guys. Hey guys. Dante's here. In a impromptu video. So yes, I am Dante and welcome anyone who wishes to join us. This is a impromptu art video. Which means I'm basically making up for last Sunday's stream. Due to just a number of things, I wasn't able to do a stream last Sunday. In fact, I'm not going to adjust the camera because it's too much of a pain, but up above us is a whole slew of shelving, which my friend Romina Sotorova, check her out on Instagram, Romina Sotorova. She helped me install a bunch of shelves above my art table, which is now hosting all of my previous art projects, like these little guys. All the shelves are up there, and it took us longer than we expected. So yeah, that was that. So I'm doing this video to make up for that one, and to essentially get a head start for what may or may not be the next Sunday stream. So what I mean by that is this might carry over into this weekend. We will see. So what are we looking at here? What I have here are some sculptures I've been working on and off as I reach across the table without yanking the headphones out of my head. Well, give me a second. Just gotta readjust. There we go. So a while back, I sculpted this little bugger. This little kind of Oni looking devil demon character with his little two-fingered hands on either side, and I also sculpted a tiny little body for him. This body broke off, but it essentially glues like that. And after I sculpted that, I finally buckled down, bought the material, and made a rubber mold, or like a rubber. Is it rubber? It's well, this particular one is called Reoflex. Reoflex Dry. I usually use Reoflex 30. That's the 30. Yeah, here we go. Reoflex 30 Dry. It's a urethane rubber. And with that being said, that plus some resin made these copies. We have the blue demon, we have the red demon, and we have the green demon. And why do I have these demons? Why are they shaped so weird? Well, a while back, I bought a bunch of these bottles. Okay, I like a Michael's art and craft store. You've probably seen them before, and they really caught my attention. I just bought them because I was like, I could do something with this. Fast forward like a year later, I thought of something to do with these. And with lots of patience and getting the sculpting right, I now present to you, with a little hole in the back of his head, I now present to you the demon in a bottle. Yeah, so I am making these little products. I'm gonna, they're hand sculpted, hand painted, hand assembled, and I'm also going to add some tinted resin into the jar to anchor him in there and to give it some weight on the bottom. And that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna take the odd man out. We're gonna take the green one, and he's gonna be fully painted, similar to the way I do my my normal miniature models, you know, base coat, wet brush, and then some dry brush for the shading. And then we're gonna see if we can add some yellow tinted resin. I have all these different little colors right here, which stain like crazy when they get on you. But I think a nice like yellow tint will work well for this guy, like across the board for all of them. Just a little bit of yellow resin up to like here. And that is the plan for today. I need to put down something on the table so I can know exactly where I'm at here. Let me see. Give me a second as I check the lag on the... Right there. This will remind me to stay in shot. Yeah, so everything above you guys can see just fine. Perfect. Excuse me as I get a snack. Because Daddy needs his sugar. Not sponsored by the Keebler Elves. If I was, it'd be quite nice actually. So I'm just kind of biding time at the moment, you know, until, you know, see if anyone joins. It's Friday, I know. Most people are probably out having fun if they can. You know, times are weird right now. But have your snack first before you start painting. There you go. Broke my cookie, damn it. So I got two devices next to me. A Dell computer, which is probably a good 7 years old at least. And a little tablet, Amazon Fire, which is even older. Yet the Amazon Fire can handle being on my Twitch channel so I can see what's going on from your guys' point of view. But the freaking Dell can't. Anyway. Oh, of course someone tries to call me. I got friends, good friends I mind you, who tend to call me when I'm streaming. I'm like, dude, I just like posted on all social medias and to you specifically that I was streaming today. Make sure it didn't affect the visual. Might have locked the camera by accident. Okay. Before that happens again, let's keep going. So, they're all gonna have more or less. It's the skin tones that will be different. It is the the only real difference. Yeah, that's the difference. The skin tones are the difference, but the rest of their bodies, the hair, the horns, the eyes, are probably the same across the board. Recycling. Gonna recycle this old. Where's my knife at? I'm gonna be anyway. I'm gonna be. I like recycling these older egg cartons. There we go. Let's put the glass bottle to the side because it is glass. Let's do the hair. So the hair is gonna be a basic black with maybe a little bit grayish color actually. Per usual, I am using airbrush paints. I was in the model store and I finally found like the exact model paints people use, those little tiny bottles. Sorry, those little tiny bottles. And I realized, man, those are kind of expensive. About the same price as my airbrush paints. But you know, you get more bang for your buck with the airbrush in terms of amount. Quality, I don't know, it depends. Some people swear when it comes to certain paints, but my airbrush paint looks just as well. Okay, paintbrush. Let me get a good paintbrush. Just gonna do the hair. Okay, a little bit of black, a little bit of white, kind of darkish, grayish hair. Maybe I should do the horns green as well, because black horns against the black hair might not come out as well. Yeah, I think I'll do the horns green. So once, that brush is no good for this. Yeah, stiffer brush. So once again, these were hand sculpted, no 3D printing. And I'm not saying that like it's a bad thing. I'm just saying no 3D printing because I don't know how to. Then I did it in resin, spilled a little resin. I had one or two mishaps as well in terms of like production. I'll show you that in a minute. Then I tried to paint it without the proper primer, which is a big no-no. You think I would have learned that by now. I was like, okay, fine. I went back and I primed it and repainted some of these. You know, I didn't go full detail with the painting before that. I just did basic flat tones like the ones you see here, basic green. You know what I need? A better chair. Give me a second. Nah, you know what? I'll work with what I got. Can't find the chair I want. But yeah, don't skip on the primer, people. Don't skip on that. My main issue right now is that I am working around this stupid camera. I think I just bumped the camera too. Of course I did. Let me see what I got. Now the real trick when it came to making this guy was making him in such a way where all the airflow, there was no air bubbles. So like the ears have a slight tilt, the nose has a slight tilt upward, everything kind of goes upward through the mold. That way, you know, no issues later on. Ooh, I know I could use, give me a second, let me get a better chair. Okay, let's see if this works. What I really needed was a shorter chair. That way I could work literally beneath the camera. Got a little bit of black on its backside, well, more grayish, but still, we could correct that once I do a second coat of green. I decided I do want to make the horns green. Let's get a nice, more narrow brush. I am painting in a very uncomfortable and awkward position right now. Just to accommodate this damn camera. So in order to get all of the, in order to prevent the air bubbles, in order to get all the angles to taper in a certain direction, I cheated with the hair. So I put hair, as you can see, going from the horn, overlapping the ear, and then the ear. So this little angle you have here with the hair, that is what prevents an air bubble from building up at the ear. Okay. Get his luxurious beard. Ah, screw this. Oi! I know what I need. Un momento, por favor. There it is. I had to switch to. As I looked to my side, I noticed that I have a stool that was just slightly smaller than what I was originally sitting on, yet slightly higher than what I was sitting on right now. So you can't see it because I'm right now holding him by a weird angle. But he has little tiny hooves and he has little tiny hair on his hooves. So that'll also be the same kind of color. Oh, bumped the camera again, sorry. Heck, I didn't even bump it. It was my glasses. The big black rim of my glasses. I bought new ones. And they kind of have that, you know, slight hipster black rim feel to them. Look at that mook. Look at that mook and his beautiful face. Just freaking every time I pull him away from the camera, that's me just trying to get the really small details I can't really get to otherwise. Okay. Alright, so as it rolls in my hand, what I need now is the tiniest of tiny brushes, at least one with a fine tip. This one should work. So, holding it by the very tip of his tail, I'm gonna see if I can get the hair he has on his hooves. It's really tiny. And the hooves, I mean, it's small details. Some people won't even notice, but I know it's there. But the hooves and, oh, tap the camera again. The hooves and his claws are black, like a solid black color. And he has a little bit, he actually has a little bit of a fur detail at the tip of his tail, which is, you know, wrapping all around. Kind of a fetus kind of thing, where it's like he's his little chubby belly, his little stubby legs, and he has this long curling tail that goes all the way down. And right there's a little fur detail. The real trick is I don't want to flood the small details with the brush. That way, you know, I want the dry brush, so I want the wet brush, the wash, to get into those details. So as per usual, it's all this flat coloring. Then we good, but then we're gonna ruin it with a big wash. I will do the eyes separate though. The eyes will be done outside of the washes. I want the eyes to like really pop. Same thing probably with the teeth. I'll do the wash first. And then maybe I'll go in with like solid white. I don't know, I'm thinking about it. Okay. Oh, dropping stuff left and right, people. The cool thing about him having a little pointed tail. A little bit of clay. Alright, let me get some of that green. Where's my green? Here we go. Nope, that's the darker green. Lighter green. Give the black a minute to dry up a little bit. As I prepare some green just to do a bit of a cleanup. Remember, we're not in the fine detailing stage, we're just in the blocking of the colors stage. Okay, so I think the best place to grab him would be by his actual claws right now. I'm gonna pull him away from the camera again, just so I could get really in there. So I don't know what it is, like the red is fine, the blue is fine, but this green paint, like green airbrush, I have two of them, I mind you. I have like a lighter color and a darker color. It's like really like thin, like it doesn't really come out solid opaque green. It's so weird. Let me see, there's a little bit on his tum-tum. Yeah, I think having the horns green with I think it looks nice. A little bit of that grayish is bleeding into this green here. Everyone's trying to call me. Stand by, people. Just text me, people. So this is why I need to get like a truly like designated like webcam. But they're so expensive, and good luck trying to find one now. Everyone's freaking streaming. Everyone's hiding from COVID. Okay, that all looks a lot better. Okay. Gonna let our beautiful man sit there. Once again, airbrushes, I like them because they do dry fast. They dry quite well. Unless you really water them down. Like white is such a, you know, it's hard to like make a truly opaque white. So when you put it into an airbrush, man, white just gunks up all my airbrushes. You have to really water them down, which, you know, kind of contradicts the whole point of using them. Okay, I'm just cleaning off these brushes right now. Hey, J Marvel Man, I just noticed your response. Good to see you, dude. Now you know why I didn't answer your call. Nah, he fell. What are you doing? We're live, damn it. Good to have you, Jay. Man of the hour. This man has invigorated my sense of creativity many times in which I've questioned myself. Like, oh, I don't feel like drawing. I don't feel like painting. I talked to my good friend Jay, also known as Cretorius Rex on Instagram. Please check out his work, Cretorius Rex. I've talked to him many times when I was in a slump, and just talking to him reinvigorates my need to be creative. Time for another fudge break, which in some ways sounds dirty, but then again, that's half the stuff on the internet. So, as I said, I bought a pack of these little bottles or jars at a Michael's, but they sell them at different places. No, did I buy this at Michael's? No, I don't think it was at Michael's. Anyway, I saw them at Michael's, but they do sell them in different like art stores, more art and crafty stores. So Michael's is only one near me. That's in a good within a relatively good traveling distance in terms of art supplies, any type of art supply, and it closed, and I hate that because just to get like general art supplies like acrylic paint and paint brushes, there's one spot near me that's, you know, a step higher than freaking kids poster paint. But aside from that, there's like nothing else around here. I live in the Bronx, not too far from Yankee Stadium, so you guys know exactly which Michael's I'm talking about. That place closed, opened, then closed again. And now that I have these guys going, I'm like, I want to make a good number of these. In fact, if I do a second green, that will complete the set. 2 blues, 2 reds, 2 greens. But if I want to do more after that, I gotta buy more jars. But speaking of making one more green, this was what happened. Something must have happened. I must have had like a contaminant of some type, which didn't affect the resin from curing. In fact, what it did was speed up the process. That happens once in a while where I pour resin together, and there might be a bit of resin left in the container which I'm pouring it into, and it just like activates the whole process. So this guy actually solidified before I could pour the entire thing in, and it just got caught in the air socket. So like there was like a big bubble of it on top of a mold, and then the inside just had nothing. But I can actually salvage this. I'll make one all together from scratch. I'll save this guy for last. So when I go through my full stock of resin, if I'm at the end of that stock and don't have enough to do a full character, I basically cram this guy back into the mold and pour in what's left, and it will just basically fill itself in. It just kind of adheres to it and fills itself in. In fact, I did it with one of these guys. One of these guys was same thing. Came out halfway. I left him in the mold and I just topped him off. So you can save, as long as it's not like a damaged cast, like, you know, with air bubbles in awkward spots. You know, if it's a half-filled cast, you could just fill the rest of it. Let's do another pass of these greens once again to correct the spots where the green was kind of coming off. Okay. Now where's that really fine brush? Where are you? You fine, girl? Here's the fine brush. Just want to add a... I'm going to do the teeth white right now. Just going to do the teeth for flat white. Do the claws and the hooves black. Maybe do the eyes white too. Do the wash. I'm just going to do the wash. Let the wash really sink into the teeth. Turn kind of dirty them. And then I'll paint. The one thing I'm really painting over, aside from the lighter colors, you know, aside from the shaded stuff, will be his eyes. I want that to be I want that to just be like a nice bright yellowish color. Why did I sculpt? Why did I sculpt him with a squinty, tiny squinty, right eye? So originally, these are going to be all like different characters. They're going to be like fictional, like fuzzy fairies and like a crocodile coming out, and the crocodile was going to be holding the cork in his mouth. And I realized, you know what? I need to like streamline the idea for now. Just keep them all the same. Keep them like this, just for now. So I noticed something. I updated. Yeah, like I updated my OBS, and as I mentioned before, I use Restream for the chat bar, and of course to restream everything. And after I did that, it like made the Restream chat even smaller. And no matter how much I adjusted whenever I adjusted in Restream, it really only adjusts my visual of it, like the little window I would use. It doesn't really change how it looks in this. I mean, it will change the style and it'll change the color, but not the size. So everything's kind of like narrow and small. Which is just kind of weird. I don't know. The whole idea of the whole struggle I have is really getting a chat, like a chat bar that people can, you know, see and read clearly. Okay. Okay, now just basic black for the claws and the hooves. I really don't need much. First, let's address the claws. It's little hoofed hands, got 2 fingers. And I know a flat color like black, not really interesting. But I will go over it with a dry brush, make it pop out a bit more. I'm going to find a better spot for that light. I have a light on my side here, but it's literally blocked off by everything else. Let me see if it looks better here. Might be a better camera shake, guys. Sorry. Nope, that's not gonna do it. That's not gonna do it. I need something to help it along, help it stand up. I don't know, is that better? How's that come across in the feed? Once again, I gotta pull him away from the camera. Just so I could get those tiny little details. He has tiny little feet. Can you see them? Focus, focus. Yeah, not the best focus. Sorry about that. Hocus pocus, focus, focus. Okay. Almost went to clean the brush in the wrong freaking cup. I've heard stories of artists who like dip their brushes into their coffee mugs and stuff. So you definitely can't see it, but I wear a particular pair of work pants when I paint and draw, which basically means, because I tend to like, you know how Bob Ross used to slap the paint? I basically brush it against my pants. I'm so tired of looking for rags, so I have a pair of jeans that's just like rainbow stripes all up and down the freaking pants. Okay, we have all the flat colors, with the exception of the yellow, which I said we're going to be separate. So I need a nice big rag. Cause we're going to go ahead and, I did it again. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do our, here we go, our wash. My simple black soap and water wash. Just to really make it look dirty. And then we'll sit back, let it dry for a minute. And then we'll go and start doing the light colors. Let me get a nice big rag for that. Stand by. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna take a piece of cardboard, piece of tissue, just to catch any excess. And we're gonna use this big old cup to catch the actual liquid. And per usual, my hands are gonna get nice and dirty. I'm gonna use this nice, I love this soft brush. Well, I don't even know what number it is. I use it for everything. I use it for like all the really soft stuff, like painting in the, it's called ease release. It's a spray you put into your rubber mold. I spray that, I paint that in. This is for the light stuff. Shake it up. Let's pour this. Yeah, screw it. Ah. We'll put it right here. And just, that's it. Just get it everywhere. Oh God, it's everywhere. It's like when you step in poo and you're wearing flip-flops outside. Why would that happen? Why would Mother Nature allow that to happen? Who lets their dog poop at the beach? A little bit of water. Yep, and that's it. Just let it get everywhere. Put this little piece of clay fell in there. Oops. There you go. Put it at a tilt. That way it all tilts to the bottom. And mess it up. Really mess it up. Have fun. Mess it up. Okay. So it's gonna have him. Come on. Come on. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Sit right there. Let it all wash over you. Now, with that being said, I need a new rag to clean off these brushes. So we're gonna let that sit for a minute, guys. Let it once again just kind of run down, let it silky, nice and man. I love the way it's coming out of the teeth. Once I ain't gonna touch it. Let it dry. Let it dry. Then we're gonna actually pick it up. I want to show you how cool it looks in the teeth detailing, and then we'll start doing some dry brushing. So we're gonna let it dry for a second, guys, as I go and get an extra. Man, all my rags are gone. I had a whole bunch of rags here to dry with. Let me get some more stuff to clean these brushes. And then next step. While we're at it, you know what? Let me change the water as well, because there's no way I can clean these brushes if the water is tinted so dark. Yeah, at some point you gotta like really start fresh, otherwise, you know, you want to do light colors, but your water has a tint of brown in it, a tint of green in it, and it just, none of it looks right. Especially big guys like this, he soaks up all that color. Okay. So, as we wait for this to do its thing, showcasing stuff. So, anyone who tuned in for my live stream, my Sunday live stream 2 weeks ago, saw me drawing this woman in a fur coat that was mutated into a kind of horrific spider-esque monster. And I showed a figurine in which was inspiration for it, and this is the figurine so far. It is a mixture of freeform sculpt and the green stuff sculpt. And I might need to bulk out the collar a bit more, really push it. But yeah, this is her. This is for right now. Her name is Spider. And even though she's a bit top heavy from all the sculpting, she still stands up pretty well. And the back has some issues in regards to how everything lines up. I'm gonna add a little bit more sculpting on it, and then once we paint it, it'll all come together quite well. And she is a transforming monstrous character, once again in the vein of like the Animorph toys, but more closer to the 1990s Ghostbuster toys, in which people just turn into monsters. So I call her Spider for a reason. First things first, her arms come out and become these long, creepy, kind of like the movie The Thing. These giant, like, spider-like arms. You know, long, spindly, hairy on one side, hairy at the end. They have articulation. They turn over here at the wrist. And those are the arms that come out. But then her chest, which you can kind of see due to the two different color tones, you pull that out and it clicks in a bit tight, but it is doable. Boom. It click. I love how I'm a little nervous because it clicks in and it clicks out, which is great for a toy, but at the same time it means I'm stressing it a little bit. But you open that, and yes, the googly eye will be painted over. I'm not going to keep that googly eye. And it has this giant mouth in it, so it has two big canines, with one on either side, two here and here, and it has two top ones, two side ones. And it's funny because you could put it all the way up and like really cover her face, but I kind of like the idea of being able to see her. And yeah, like this I'm actually really happy with so far. This is part of my packed storyline. So it's P-A-C-K, but if it was on a piece of paper, you would cross out the K and put a T, as in to make a pack. Anyone who's a fan of the anime / manga Parasite, or you know, even like things like the Guyver or more American stuff like the symbiotes. This is kind of what it is. It's creatures that take the visual form of objects. In this case, a fur coat. Sometimes it's a backpack. Sometimes it's like a briefcase, something bulky that people carry. And they merge with people, and they basically become giant monsters. Rawr. So I'm really happy so far with the way this transformation is going. And yeah, that's her so far. And she's a side project, kind of like a proof of concept of monstrous characters. You know, this won't really fly nowadays. Kids they don't. I won't say kids don't like it, but I will say toy companies don't want to make this more horrific like monster stuff for younger audiences. They might showcase it. The Owl House, which I've praised a number of times, like definitely has creepy stuff in the show, but they won't really like make toys like it. Hell, I don't know that. I don't think there even are toys of the Owl House. If they made toys of the Owl House, I'd buy them. I'd buy an Eater. I'd buy a Lilith. Like hundreds of people are really making their own plushies of freaking King. But like the really creepy stuff, like Abominations, I want some Abomination toys. Anyway, yeah, so like, it's kind of in that vein of the old, like, late 80s, early 90s. A little bit of Kenner in there, definitely Kenner. Of just people who just transform into monsters. So, yeah, this, for right now, her name is Spider. This is Spider, and she's gonna go alongside my character, Good Boy, who's once again on my YouTube channel, who is a dog with a vest. That's kind of the idea. I give all these characters some kind of bulky object, like I said, a briefcase, a fur coat, a bag, and that bulky object allows me enough space to transform them. And yeah, so that's Spider, and more of her to come in the future. Definitely more of her to come. Okay, so we got our black. So I'm debating on how to do the lighter green. Would it just be green with yellow? which I think might be better. Because if I just mix green with white, it kind of dulls it out. I think a little bit of green of yellow for the skin. Obviously a much lighter gray for the hair. Now that it's sinking in there a bit more. Once again, the bright yellow for the eyes. Might do a little bit more white highlights, like this really fine highlights on the teeth. So I got my paints for that. We don't need any more wash. I don't think we need any more black. We don't need red for sure. No blue, no green. I'm saying that because I have all the colors lined up over here. And I'm just going to do a quick check. See what's going on the other websites. Because once again, I got my devices all set up over here, so I can check the different websites, see what's going on, see who is or isn't viewing. So I don't know, like, I feel Twitch gets the earliest broadcast and then everything else follows a few seconds later. As long as it's broadcasting across the board, I'm happy. Okay. Let's see. Still a little wet. Just blowing into it right now. I guess this is our wash box. Yeah, that's a good word for it. The wash box. Alright. Shake up that yellow. Knock over stuff on my table. Oh, other small things I'm working on. I bought a miniature and I'm trying to customize it more and more to make my halfling character. She's a fighter who uses a freaking like club, and she has a crossbow, but this girl came with a shield. I'm debating if I want to cut the shield off or just leave it on for style. I say halfling, sorry, not halfling. She's a tiefling, and she has one regular horn, one broken horn, and then she wears like a kind of tiara with a freaking onyx horn. She's meant to look like an oni. Ah, it's a theme today. That's the theme. She's meant to have like an oni aesthetic to her, even though she's actually a bit of a thin, late 20s like tiefling. Ooh, that was too much yellow. Oh well. So we could probably don't you drop, don't fall out of my hands. So we could probably do the yellow around the eyes. If it bleeds a little bit into the darker areas, that's okay. Let's see. It's a good thing I gave it a light coat of white first. Because that white is like a solid, heavy white. You know, like I said, it's really thick. So it's opaque. So it's like adding the white before I add my silver. I've mentioned in previous videos that like I have silver paint, but it just never takes. A little bit of a bleed onto his nose. We'll fix that. Oop, bumping that camera. Stop shaking, stop. There we go. Ooh, that does look nice so far. Once again, a little bit of a bleed, because the wash is still there. But I'm okay with a little bit of a bleed around the edges of the eye. I just keep adding more and more yellow. I mean, I'm gonna have to anyway. I mentioned before my the miracle that is a big old thing of toothpicks. You can use it for everything. In fact, I'll probably end up using them later on in the same project. You know, trick with small figurines like this when you go to paint them. Any kind of sculpt, well, small sculptures. Figurines are different. They sit on a little stand like this. Speaking of which, I just dropped a piece of plastic into my water. As I was saying, holding them is the issue, because I find myself holding it, and if you mess with it too much, even with the primer, you end up like rubbing the paint off. So this whole thing is gonna have to get like a spray of some type. Just blowing on it to once again help that that wash speed up the drying process. Adding more yellow. And just a pinch of white. It's a little bit more white on like the big teeth, just really showing that little gleam of white. Yeah, she does have really nice teeth, really clean teeth. In fact, you could tell his teeth, especially his left fang, goes all the way up to the cheek. Okay, we're almost ready for the dry brushing. Just gonna keep adding more yellow as it slowly dries. Okay, so I'm debating to give him just a little dot, like a little black dot for an eye, or to do little little lines, two little lines, like more like a serpent / cat eye. Okay, now when we do the dry brush, he is so small. I need to get a tiny brush that has a roughness to it for the dry brush. I got this guy, he's really tiny. So maybe I could use him. Okay, so what we need is a toothpick. Oh, not a toothpick. So I'm taking a little bit of yellow. And we're going to mix that with our already pre-existing light green. And that's going to be our light color. Because I feel that might look better than just the white. With the white and green, I thought this might look better. Let's see. I'm holding him primarily by the base of his hair, which can easily be painted black, and by the hole here. I don't want to scrape off any more of the green we have. We need that green. So. I think we need more yellow in that to really define it from the rest. There we go. Almost like a candy green. Because Onis taste like candy. Get the tips of his horns. Get the eyebrow ridge. And once again, dry brushing. You pretty much dip the brush, remove most of it, then you go against the grain. You don't want to go into the grain. The wash goes into the grain. The dry brush does not. Then you can sometimes cheat and just literally put little specks, like a little bit right there on his cheek, definitely on his nose. Maybe get on his lip a little bit. Let's see. That does look nice. How well does that come across on camera? Hopefully, I don't know. Alright. Make our way down. Get his belly. And its legs. Then I'm gonna pick and choose on the tail. I'm gonna pick and choose. The tail's so small, it's hard to really get that fine detailing. Now he needs his tuchus. I need to paint his tuchus. His backside. The demon ass. That was a bit too much. Once again, you can always just wipe it off. Wipe it off, you don't like it. That's, let me see, demon ass. Sucky butt. His sucky butt. Yeah, then now, see, that is looking real good. It's my paint style or lack of skill makes it it's choppy, it's a little dirty, it's not super clean like some stuff. I can admit it. I can admit. But it works. When it needs to do the job, it works. Put a little bit on his upper lip. Once again, you could also pick and choose. Dry brush, go loose, or pick and choose. Do a little bit of both sometimes. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, I like those shades of green. I like that. Okay. Once again, give it a few seconds to dry. It's airbrush. It dries pretty quickly. Then we're going to try and work on those, the hair. And then once again, I'll dip into the yellow. Pop the eyes more and more. Really get them vibrant. Okay, so I'm gonna add a drop of white into my black. Actually, more than a drop, because this is now going to be a very light gray for his hair. A little lighter, just a little bit. Sing it with me now, wiggle it just a little bit. God, that's my mom's fault. My mom always quotes that part of the song just to mess with people. Mama Burgos, God bless her. For this, we will use a broad, really stiff brush for the hair, for the majority of the hair. The beard might be an issue. Alright, good. Let's turn your butt around. The small specks of white here and there. Oh, you can't see it. The small specks of white or the wash didn't quite take. We will address that. We will address that for sure. Okay. Okay, get as much off as you can. Oh yeah, oh yeah. There is something on the dry brush that makes all the colors like really come out. Look at that. Get a tiny brush with the paint. There it is. Almost gonna find it. And we're gonna dab some sections where there was a bit of a spillover from one color to the other. So I'm holding it by his hoof and the hole in his head. I want to get this nice and dry. I don't want to lose. There we go. I don't know if you can see it now, but now maybe you could probably make out the hoof. It's a little hoof right there. Hoof is right there. With the fuzziness of one foot is his knee going down, fuzziness of the foot behind him. I'm going to use the same gray to pop out the claws. So now he has little hoof hands that you can see. There we go. And I think, yeah, I think we got it, guys. Look at that. I am very happy with that. I think we have it. Now, before I even try to do resin, I need to let this guy fully dry. Because the last thing I want is a contaminant, because this is water-based paint. And the last thing I want is any kind of contaminant screwing up the resin, because once that resin, ooh, I keep hitting the camera, sorry. Once that resin like really begins to settle around him, that's it. That's the home stretch, and if we screw up big. So we're just gonna casually work on the eyes, like I said. Get back in there. Oh, there's a little bit of yellow on his claw. How'd you get there, buddy? So I'm gonna do some cleanup here and there. Let it really dry up. You know what? Oh, where's my paint? There it is. When I say where's my paint, what I'm actually meaning is where in this freaking egg carton did I put that color? That's really what I'm trying to say. Okay, so clean this brush. This is a fine tip brush. Something just updated on my phone. Don't know what it was, but something updated. Go clean this brush. Get back in there with the yellow. Like I said, as that yellow does its thing, we shall stand by and wait for the rest to dry. So I'm still in the perpetual search for copyright-free music. Always. Every time I find something that says it is, either YouTube and or Twitch flags it as not being copyright-free. People just like collecting music into a playlist and then saying, yeah, you can totally use it. So as usual, if you know any good playlist, let me know. And I know YouTube does have a whole library. What I need to do is download all of those. What I need to do is download all of those songs I find on YouTube that I like, and then like just play it off my computer, I guess. Get him in the frame. I'm thinking a simple little beady dot for each eye might work just fine. The black is super liquidy, the white isn't. Just that's my little dot of black and just all pours out into my freaking egg carton over here. Okay, so for this, I will need to take it away from the camera for sure, just to get really nice and close. He's a little cross-eyed. I gotta fix that. Damn it. I'll fix it. Still debating if I want to give him the little reptilian eye. There's a bit of a bleed of the yellow. Correction of the yeah, the yellow going onto the nose from the eye. Let me see if I can fix that too. I mean, the eye can always be fixed afterwards. It's just bugging me. Because he has two completely different sized eyes, so like, where the iris sits is always going to be a little off. That's better. I think his left eye needs to be moved. That's it. The left eye's off. It is the left eye. The left, our left, his right. It needs to be looking more towards the nose. So I heard that apparently, like, the Jim Henson puppets are done with cross-eyed. Like, they're purposely done slightly cross-eyed because they realize if you put them straight forward, people read it as them looking in two different directions. Like, it's actually a trick they had to learn because they couldn't figure out why all the freaking puppets look weird. All right. That's what I'm pretty much doing. I'm pretty much taking his right eye, bringing the pupil over a little bit because it's squinting, so it's a little offset. I blotted the yellow in there so much when I dab a little bit of black, it's actually getting sucked into the yellow and you can't see it. Now you can kind of make it out. Yeah, bring it in more. Need to let it dry. Is the right brush? This brush is no good for this. Where are you, teeny brush? Where are you? I need you, teeny brush. Yeah, I like that. It needs to dry, and then I'll really get in there and blot it out, you know, clean it up. But so that's pretty much it. This is the paint setup. We're good. With our light tones, okay, let me take this off. Leave it flat. There we go. We have our light tones. We have our dark tones. I will clean up the edges of the eyes. This little blot for the eye. Back end looks pretty good too. Right. I didn't paint in the hole because we're gonna need that surface to add some epoxy glue. But now I'm gonna prep what I have here. Gonna put the paint to the side. We are gonna prep because we are now going to try and do some resin. And I don't do much resin, and I'm always afraid if I do it incorrectly, it'll come out cloudy. Cloudy's fine, but not if it's like completely like too dark. So what are we doing? We are taking, let me move this up a bit. We are taking basic plastic cup, 2-part is easy cast hardening resin. I know one is yellow, one is white, but apparently it dries clear. We're taking a little bit of yellow. And by a little bit, I mean I'm going to take a toothpick, dip it in there, and stir it. And we are using proper measurements here. So, let me see. I measured this originally to be roughly half the bottle, and half of these bottles is about 6, is it milliliters? I think it's called. I have these kind of worn out pieces here, but yeah, 6. It'll be 3 and 3. So I fill up one with 3, the other with 3, pour them in, mix them with a clean, no moisture. This needs to be dry. The stick needs to be dry. This needs to be dry, and it should be fully dry by now. He is the only issue. He's the issue. So we're gonna let him sit there. Let him fester a little bit. Let's go with. This will be our yellow. This will be this guy. So I like to mark that off. Put him as Y for now. Let's shake him up. This does not fit, so we're going to use a junk one for now. Just a pinch. Do. That's it, just a pinch. If I could get it into this. Okay, that looks like it's more than 3, and it's an air bubble. Come on, no air bubbles, no air bubbles. Big bucks, no whammies. There we go. Can't get rid of that air bubble. Let's try this again. There we go. I'm just going back and forth with this, trying to get that air bubble out of the actual needle. And there we go. That's as close to 3 as we're going to get. Okay, so that's 3. And even if it's not exactly 3, as long as the 2 syringes are like evened out, as long as they're both equal, that's what matters. because this is a 1-to-1, and you could buy this at most art stores too. It's not even Smooth On. It's another brand. They all come in like these little purplish boxes. I think they're all called Easy Cast. Okay. So this is trash, but we will just combine it for now. Now to repeat the process with this one. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna take this and take a look at them real quick. Yep. They're just about equal, which is what we need. We need that as close as physically possible to being equal. So apparently, like, to get hardness, about 24 hours to get what they call like complete hardened, like complete hardened cleared resin. It's like it takes like several days, like a week to go completely solid hard. I mean, for our case, there's not much of a difference because it's going to be inside the jar. But if you're ever doing this and you want to, you know, use it for jewelry or whatever, it's a time consumer. But you know, you gotta be patient with this stuff. Luckily, the white resin I use, the Smooth Cast 300, like that sucker hardens like in 15 minutes, and you gotta move quick. Now, normally what I do, like I said, we take a little toothpick and we just take a little dab. Because some of this stuff, like the blue and the brown and the green, they go dark. The yellow, I don't know how they use it. I don't know if the yellow is gonna come out opaque or not. So we're gonna have to like really be prepared for that. So I'm gonna take this guy and give him a nice close up look, primarily in his lower half, because that's what's gonna be in the jar. Make sure there's no annoying white spots that will bug the hell out of me. Everything seems dry. Everything seems good. Moment of truth, everyone. Moment of truth. Our mixing container. Our ready to go jar. Our color pigment. In case it spills, we're going to be working on top of this. And all we're going to do is pour it into the jar and then plug it up with our guy. First one's in. Second one's in. Dab of yellow. Stirring it, stirring it, stirring it. Stir it with this. Really stir it, really stir it. Get that pigment. Yellow is, you know, a little bit translucent anyway, which hopefully will be in our favor. God, I hope it doesn't just turn into a solid yellow. I literally just put like, I think I even put too much. Just a little toothpick of it. I think I even put too much. But we shall see. Okay. Move all this up, that way you guys can see what the hell I'm doing. And I gotta get close to this. And we're gonna pour it right in. Now one of the problems is that it could be a bit viscous. I was hoping for half a jar. If you heard that noise, by the way, it's probably a cat outside freaking out. The cat's watching the stream and it's like, what are you doing? Oh my god! Okay, it's not half the jar, it's less. And a little bit went down the walls on the inside, which I think is kind of cool too. That actually kind of works. A little bit of mess doesn't bother me that much. And then that's that. So putting this resin will anchor him in there because it's pretty much grabbing his tail. I don't need to put glue on the inside. The fact that some of the resin got caught and is slowly leaking downward is also kind of good. Gives a bit of a character. Just give him a little twist here and there. Just gonna find that sweet spot. There we go. And like I said, I wanted more of half a jar. What we have here is it's a bit of a air bubble issue. Once again, the stuff is very viscous. So it's like a bit of a weird tiny air bubble, almost like he's a soda can or something. Which I don't like. I don't really like. I'm just kind of hoping it disperses. He's a can of pop. Okay. So yellow is naturally translucent, so that works well. And I'm gonna let that bad boy sit. I'm just gonna right now trim a little bit of the cork, and then we'll use some I got some epoxy glue which should work for that. So let me move my side table back a bit so I can get into the actual drawer in front of me without knocking everything over. Freaking animal. Filthy animal. Boom. I do wonder. Oh, you know what? Maybe not the epoxy. Let me quickly trim some of the cork down on the edges. Because that needs to fit in the hole in his head. But if I have a little bit of the resin left in this cup. So if I put that because I could do that in the back of his head. And it'll act as a glue as well. Hopefully. That's the idea. That's the pipe dream right there. If it doesn't work, I'll then actually add glue later on. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna work, but we'll see. You can always add a little bit of crazy glue or whatever I need to add in there. Okay, quick cleanup. Keep that. Keep that. Cup of resin. Cup old resin goes to the garbage, which is actually very full, by the way. All the paintbrushes are off to the side, just on the side now, but they are already dried, except for one. That was the one I was working on the eye. I will clean out these syringes as well. And I'm sure there's a bunch of people screaming, "You weren't wearing gloves! What's wrong with you? You can't just work with resin and not wear gloves." And to that I say, you're right. Absolutely right. When you're right, you're right. And guess what? You're right. I'm a horrible person. Alright. So I'm going to detach my phone for a minute from the already shaky cam, just to put it in a better position for you guys. There we go. How's that? Let me see. Let me check my camera. There we go. Yeah, look at him. Look at that. Look at that ugly mug. Ugly mug in a jug. But yes, that is our Demon in a Jar product by Dante Burgos. And yeah, I am liking this. I am liking this a lot. So we're going to let this dry. This guy has to dry. I might need to re-glue the cork into his head. I will clean up the eyes, really make the eyes look nice. Get a bit of light on this. Let me get a bit of light on this for you guys. Much better. I think he looks beautiful. Inside his little gook. What is that? You peeing in there? There's children around. There are children in this stream, good sir. Little demon booty. Yeah, and I can see now the little bumps, and I just noticed the resin really makes the end of his tail like look huge. I do wish I could have put more resin in there, like up to his knees. I was really hoping for that. But the resin is so viscous that like most of it stayed in the freaking cup. When I measured it, I thought it would be like 6, but I did 3 and 3 for the syringes, and it came out lower. But hey, still works though. But yep, there we go, guys. That is the Demon in a Jar green variant. We still have a blue variant, a red variant, and at this exact moment, the headless variant. That guy will be fixed later on. But yeah, I'm actually very, very happy with this. And I plan to make a number of these and essentially sell them on Etsy or at the next convention I'm going to. By the way, speaking of which, everyone, in September, I have to double check. In September, there's going to be New York Toy Con. This is not New York Toy Fair. New York Toy Fair is for all the business people who go there and buy big stock. But they don't let us walk around and buy stuff and sell stuff. The common man. So in Brooklyn, at the Brooklyn Navy Yard in September, is the New York Toy Con. It's the first official New York Toy Con. Toys to buy, toys to sell, and I will be there in Artist Alley, and I will hopefully have a few of these ready to go, along with my other sculptures, you know, the ones I've done in the past, such as my Dungeons and Dragon hands and the claws and the D holders and etc. etc. So yeah, check them out. The website's still, I think, relatively new and updating information with who's going to be there. As I lose track of where my camera is. There it is. But yeah, definitely check it out. Check out my Etsy page, please, and check out that website for New York Toy Con. And you know what? I think I'm gonna also be doing Brooklyn Horror Convention, Brooklyn Horror Con in October. I might be doing that as well. Check out that website when you get a chance. But in the meantime, and for future ever and ever, I am Dante. Once again, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the future. Later.